And that was one hell of a transformation.
Well, thank you.
My God. It was, when you first came on screen, that was one of the biggest visual shocks I have seen on film. It was an amazing transformation.
Well, glad to hear that. Thank you.
And really, very powerful, adding to the performance. Really amazing.
What did you enjoy about transforming yourself?
Creating, like, what's real. And I love that because that was very important to me to do. It's like, you can't pretty up something like that. And that's part of the story, is to make it real and to create this character. Like, even reading the script, like, she was coming to me as I was reading it, and I'm like, okay, I know what my Gloria looks like. And then I talked to the director on the phone, and he was a little afraid because he's like, I don't know if I can tell Jennifer about this. And as he was telling me his ideas for the character, he's like, and I see her with tattoos, and I'm like, yeah, I see her with tattoos too, because it just seems like it was necessary for her. And again, her look is a huge part of her story.
Did that satisfy an old urge to get a tattoo? 'Cause I know I wanted a tattoo, but I never actually got one. Did you get to pick what you had on your body?
Unfortunately, no. You know what? Because I would never get a tattoo, ever, in my life. I don't mind those that have them, but I would never do that. So, it was interesting to experience, like, so this is what it's like. Because I literally had to walk around in days with it on. Because it obviously takes a while to put on. And even when my son saw me, he's like, what is that on your neck, Mommy? You know, so, like, you're weird or strange, but it was an interesting experience to morph into her.
So how did your relationship with your son impact your approach to the character?
That was funny because for him, he could tell the difference in me. Like, when I would be rehearsing for the role, and he's like, Mommy, don't act like that. Like, you're scaring me. You know, because it was the furthest thing from his mother, and it was odd. But I think it was helpful too, because although Gloria wasn't necessarily a good mom, she was still a mom. You know, and I'm a mom, so in that way, I feel like that was the only thing that was similar about us, is that we're both moms and we have sons.
How do you find the emotional beats to get into a character like Gloria, especially when you have somebody like Skyland that you're playing opposite?
Well, he made it easy, definitely. But for me, it's always just, I always say I don't act, I react. And it's like just being in that moment. Like, what would you do? And even thinking like, oh goodness, like it was times it was a little difficult, especially the scene when I had to smack him. And I'm like, this is somebody's child. And this mother sitting up and I'm so sorry, you gotta smack your son. Like, I didn't apologize because it's like, at the end of the day, it's still a child. And you know, so it kind of, at times, it kind of got a little difficult. Because I am a mother, too, and I don't want to smack nobody's child. So,
are there parts of that character that you didn't want to get into? Because, I mean, when you're a junkie, you do some weird things.
Yes. I mean, it was all terrifying. I was dreading it down to the day of filming. Like, oh, I got to film this character? Like, y'all sure y'all want to do this? You know, but again, it's like taking a leap. And that was part of the reason I'm taking it, is because I want to expand myself into other things, you know.
Well, did you have to do the boot camp thing like the boys? In other words, talk to junkies and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I had went to a rehabilitation center. I went several times and sat and listened to, I don't know how many stories, but I thought the ladies were so brave to sit, and I'm a complete stranger, and you're sitting here telling me your story. And there is where I found the lady who actually coached me through the role, because I had nothing to pull from. Like, I've never, ever, I've been sober my entire life. I've never had to drink, a drug, any of that. And so normally as an actor, you have something to pull from within. But in this case, literally, I'm sitting there finding out, like, I have nothing to connect to. And they're like telling their stories, like, you know what it's like when you're drunk or when you're high. And I'm like,
was there something specific?
No, I don't know.
Was there something specific that Lisa may have mentioned or said that clicked to help you perform
for me,
on the screen?
I wanted someone that I could attach myself to or care about, to want to tell her story, because again, I had nothing to draw from. So it's like, okay, well, the next best thing is find someone that you can attach yourself to and tell their story. And out of all the stories that I heard, I was like, this one right here, like, I loved her. Like, she's a character. Like, she had things that I could duplicate or imitate or, things like that. Like, okay, her story was interesting, and she was so open. It's so honest. Just, it just came flowing, and I was like, she's definitely the one. So she literally shadowed me and walked me through everything. And I actually took her with me to the screening in New York just last week.
So how was it working with George in developing the tone and the character of Gloria herself? Because you're trying to retain that raw, gritty, visceral nature, but at the same time, how much rehearsal time so you didn't, because that had to be a fine line to walk to keep it fresh.
Yeah, well, we didn't have much time because it's a busy time at the time, but majority of the time that I did preparing, or we had to prepare, was mainly sitting with Lisa, the ex heroin addict, and just learning every detail. And George would be there, and also just on the set. And that's what I love about his style of directing. Is just like he'll just roll the camera and coach you through it and say, okay, give me this or give it to me again, and I love that approach because it was not a lot of time. It's like, okay, we're rolling, let's make every reel count,
Jennifer, how tough was, well, actually not tough. I'm excited for you. You have opening and closing night at the Hollywood Black Film Festival. And talk about your role as Winnie, because I keep almost calling you Winnie.
Thank you.
So you got to talk about that.
Winnie, woo, that was another challenging role. I was definitely more so terrified of that one than anything because you got this huge iconic figure, and going into Africa and to see the platform that some have for her and what she means to the country and all of that, and it's like, ooh, Jennifer, if you're going to do this, you got to hop all the way in. So I was very intimidated by that. I spent 4 months in South Africa filming that film, and it was an amazing experience. And again, that was a story that I felt like, why am I just not reading this script, learning her contribution to our history, and I'm almost 30 years old. Like, at the time, I'm 32 now. But, because that was filmed, over 3-4 years ago. And it's like, that stuck out to me. Like, only thing we ever knew about Winnie Mandela is that she was Nelson Mandela's wife. And here I am reading the script, and I'm like, wait, she did all of this? She went through that? Like, hello, shouldn't we be telling this story? And so that's what drew me to that role.
Jordan told us the best story, that she didn't know if you knew. When you were on Idol, when you were competing, she waited out in the wings and got a photograph taken with you when she was 14 years old. Do you have any?
I remember that very well, actually. It was my ex-boyfriend is the one who reminded me of that when she was on her season Idol. He's like, Jenny, that's that same little girl that stood outside everything you're saying. And I'm like, oh my God, it is. So, I don't know, it's just weird how things work out. But I do remember that very well.
Cool.
Could you talk about, the Simon gave you quite hard time when you were Idol, but you won Oscar and you received great script and you were doing real well. So how do you say him?
I actually, Simon was actually my favorite judge because he prepares you for like the industry and everything you're going to deal with. Like, it's not always going to be peaches and cream, and everybody isn't always going to like you, and that's okay. But he like I always consider Idol like boot camp of the industry, and it prepares you for it, and he's just honest. It's just, I guess, how he felt. But hi, Simon.
When's the last time you ran into him? Because Simon is a great person. Not everybody gets to see that off.
Right. I don't know. I know he's having a baby now. I haven't seen him in a while. Probably at the Oscars when I won my Oscar, I think. Wow, which was almost 10 years now. I don't know.
Since we're going down memory lane real quick, Grammy night, when you won a Grammy, can you tell me your memories of that particular evening?
All I see is Whitney. I think Whitney Houston giving me my Grammy overshadowed winning my first Grammy for me, because it was all a surprise. We didn't know she was going to be there. I knew I was nominated, and I would have never guessed. Like, that is the ultimate dream, because she's always been like my favorite, my idol. Who gets to get their first Grammy from their musical idol? That's crazy. And then to win all of that. So it's just amazing, and she like took the whole night from me.
Did she share any little? Did you have like one little magic moment that the two of you shared that evening?
Oh God, I can't remember what she said to me at the time, but I know she told me she's extremely proud of me backstage, and when he gave me my Grammy, I probably cried on her. I'm sure. Like, it's still surreal to this day.
When you sung that song at the Grammy, that whole press room was frozen. Because you sung the hell out that song, boy. Everybody was like, whoa. So just to let you know, you blew them away. That's the only time I've ever been in the press room where everything was quiet.
Wow.
And they sat there frozen looking at those monitors. You did the same thing in Pasadena, too, at the Soul Train Awards.
Wow. I'm trying to think. What did I sing at the Soul Train?
I forget what it was, but I remember being in the hallway, and your voice resonated over that entire auditorium and into the hallway. And we were just standing there saying, damn.
Thank you. Oh my God.
So Jennifer, this has been a great year for African American filmmakers and films. Why is it so important that we continue to promote each other's films and just really, really support?
Well, we definitely need that. You know, it should have its own lane as well, and I'm just glad I think this project it's amazing time for it, and I feel like everything has its season and its time, and I feel like right now is the time for that, and so we need to pile as many in there as we possibly can.
The good thing is that you haven't had that Oscar curse. You continue to go on, which is a great respect for you. I think the industry recognizes that too. What kind of roles are they sending you when it comes to these scripts?
Well, I mean, you get a bit of everything, you know, but I think what it is not to get caught up in it. Like, as soon as I walk on the set, it's like, look, yes, I won an Oscar on my first role, but that does not mean I know everything. I need to learn. So, you know, because it comes with a certain expectancy of you, you know, and so I don't really like to have that on my shoulders. And then also, I pick my roles by like just what I'm passionate about, more so than, okay, can I win an award off of this? It's like, it's not about that. It's about the art and the love for it. And I'm just grateful to be able to do what I love. You know?
Jennifer, could you talk about giving to the message to the young the females who wanna be like you, be in the industry. So could you give me your kind of worst audition experience and
worst audition experience
you found how did you overcome? So
you know what, I think, wow, that's a good question. Definitely it was probably for Dreamgirls, and it was my first audition, I want to say, for the role. And what happened was they sent the sheet music to, and I'm telling you, the big song of the movie, if you've seen it, but they didn't send all the music. And if you know the show, like there's the Broadway version, there's the movie version, there's different versions of the song, but at the time I didn't know that. So when I got to the audition, I'm prepared to sing my music, so I thought, and I hear another young lady in the room, and she's singing a different version of the song. I'm like, wait a minute, we're here for the same thing, so why is she singing something else? And turns out they missed some of the sheet music and didn't send me all the music. So I almost completely blew my chances of getting the role. And it wasn't even my fault. So, but I was like, no, I'm going to be professional and I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to use what I have. And I did that, and it didn't work out well at all. But fortunately, somehow they found out that I didn't get all the sheet music, and they called me back again to give a whole nother audition for the role. So, I mean, that could have been a really big disaster, I think, because I wouldn't have got the role, right?
Now, you said that you like going on to set and like learning things because you don't know everything. So what did you learn on the set of Mr. and Pete?
Wow.
And this experience?
God, I feel like every set is different. Each director is different. And I would say being able to trust myself more. Because as far as acting, like singing, I don't really think about it. It's like, okay, am I singing? I didn't know I was singing. You know, it just happens. Whereas acting, I might second guess myself 3-4 times, over, like, okay. And the director from Winnie taught me, like, your instincts are always dead on. Never second guess them, always trust them. So I'm finding my way to, trust my instincts more and not be so pressed about it or second guessing myself.
Thank
play
you, we're out of
you play a
time.
not so good mom in this one, but for you, what's the key to being a good mom? How do
Oh
you
my
know
God.
you're being a good mom?
Be the complete opposite of Glory. That's it. Because that's what it taught me doing it. It's like, it makes you, appreciate, like, it made me appreciate my reality or my son or our relationship that much more. And it makes you want to step your game up as a parent to be a better parent. Like, okay, well, thank God I'm not that type of mother. And what else can I do to be a better mom? That's how, the state of mind is after that.